Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Tycon Chennai 2016 Awards Night, brought to you in association with Cognizant, Axis Bank, and Godish Properties. The team behind today has worked hard to put together a lineup that not only celebrates our theme for tonight, which is Tamil Nadu First, but also recognizes the best amongst us in the entrepreneurial ecosystem. I hope that the next 1.5 hours keeps you entertained and intrigued in equal measure. Have a great evening. And now I welcome our chairman for Tycon Chennai 2016, Mr. V. Chandrasekhar, to take the podium.
A very good evening and warm welcome to all of you who are here to witness a celebration and even to recognize our true heroes, those who made a difference to their lives and the society. I am happy to see the cream of Chennai being assembled here on this occasion. I particularly thank for the overwhelming response for the conference in general and for the awards night tonight. I'll start with the verse by the genius poet of the land, Mahakavi Subramanya Bharati. Agini kunjondru kanden, ade angoru kaattilor pondidai vaithen. Vendu thanindadu kaadu, thazhal veerat kunjendru moopendrum undo. For those of you who are not familiar with Tamil, I translated it. It says, I saw a spark of fire, which I placed in a small burrow in the nearby forest. The forest burned and turned to ashes. Does the prowess of fire change whether it is a spark or an inferno? Here we are at 9th edition of Tycon Chennai Annual Awards to witness the fire of entrepreneurship. It doesn't matter, it defies age, gender, and status. The fire burns regardless of what size it is. Tamil Nadu, our ancient motherland, has a long history of enterprise, initiative, and pioneering spirit in many, many areas. We stood first in many areas that truly matter to our society. We are home to the oldest living language in the world, Tamil. The very seeds in the making of modern India was sown right here in Fort St. George. And what's more, Thiruvalluvar with his 1330 kurals and Avayar with her Atichudi certainly are the oldest tweeters in the world. And their tweets are popular till today and being retweeted all the time. Somewhere along in time, we seem to have started losing pride in our land, an emotional connect with our land. So we at Ty Chennai felt that this is an occasion, an awards function where we should actually rekindle the spirit to connect with our land. Hence we present this award ceremony with the special theme of Tamil Nadu First. So this year, the awards committee came up with the idea of aligning all our awards in tune with the vision and direction set by our union government. Consequently, the committee came up with awards to recognize entrepreneurs and organizations that have contributed to Clean India and Make in India. So that is a departure from the previous years. The award committee scanned and reviewed hundreds of proposals that came before deciding a shortlist. We had a totally independent panel of eminent people who actually were involved in the final selection. Every entrepreneur gives his very best in his endeavors, and some give that extra mile. By recognizing them, we recognizing the spirit of entrepreneurship. By awarding them, we award the spirit of achievement. I thank the awards team for coming up with identifying the best for the entrepreneurship community which is gathered here to recognize. Thank you. This year, we decided to standardize on the award insignia so much to create an identity and a brand of lasting value, much like you have the Oscars or the film fair that we see here. We now have a symbol for our annual awards, which over time, with the quality of the people that receive it, is bound to become the most coveted trophy to aspire for any entrepreneur. We will unveil this insignia of trophy as part of this function. Such an event would not have been possible without the generous support of sponsors. We would like to thank the Hindu Business Line for their partnership for the event as well as the awards function. I would like to personally thank the awards evening sponsors, Axis Bank, Cognizant Technology Solutions, Godrej Properties, and Access Healthcare, who are our food and beverage partner for the evening. We sincerely appreciate you coming forward to be associated with this function, and thank you. So, now I am pleased to welcome and introduce the anchor for the evening, entrepreneur and historian V. Sriram. For many of you, he is not new. He was here last year too, taking us through a journey of the entrepreneurial history of Chennai, an outstanding conversationalist and speaker, a historian by interest and passion, who is envy for many qualified historians, someone who strains his eyes much more than most of us by his rather compulsive engagement with books. And finally, a cool and nice human being to hang out with, presenting Sriram to you to take us through the journey of Tamil Nadu first. Sriram.
Good evening, friends. Gives me great pleasure to be here in your midst and as part of this evening take you on a brief journey of Tamil Nadu. This is not going to be a comprehensive story, but I'm just going to pick up a few highlights just to show you what Tamil Nadu has done over the centuries that it has existed. What are the buzzwords today? If we look at skills development, engineering excellence, respecting nature, minimizing waste, recycling, conservation, all these things have been in Tamil Nadu since time immemorial. If you look at the bronzes of the Cholas, and of course, we have a great connect this evening with the bronze Cholas that are on screen that will be coming up in a few minutes. But what better symbols of excellence than the Natarajas and the various bronze icons? At a time when there was no CAD, when there was no cut and paste technology available, all this was achieved. Blemishless, immortal, and continuing to exist for all times to come. Civic society. If you look at civic society, the Uttiramerur inscriptions of the Pallava period talk about Ur and Sabha, a bicameral system for a small town. We have Lok Sabha, we have Rajya Sabha, we have Legislative Assembly, Legislative Council. The same thing, Ur and Sabha. And it has a list of recommendations as to who can stand for election for the Ur or Sabha. He or she should not have killed anybody. He or she should not have earned money in the wrong fashion. Nobody can offer themselves for re-election after 3 years of holding office. All these things are ideal recommendations that can be followed even now. Tamil Nadu's corporation system, you have Vittu Vasadi Variyam, Kuppai Kuttumba, so many other Varyams are there, I don't want to talk about them, but the term Varyam comes from the Uttiramerur inscription. Thotta Varyam, Kinatru Varyam, from a small corporation or a board which will take care of water management, parks management. I don't think there can be any better example of what we were capable of as a civic society, and it is interesting that we are still talking about it so many thousand years after this particular inscription. And then we had outstanding leaders, Rajaraja, who better than Rajaraja to give us an example of leadership, left behind an outstanding engineering marvel, the Brihadishwara temple, 1,000+ years today and still attracting visitors to go and see it. Not only was Rajaraja just a builder of magnificent temples, he was a strong believer in the passing on of skills from generation to generation. In the midst of this Brihadishwara temple, there is an inscription which talks about the musicians and the dancers and the people employed in the worship of that particular temple. And it says, when they grow old, they will have to identify a suitable successor whom they will have to train and then bring on to perform the same service in the temple. You talk about skills being passed on, talk about training of newcomers, all these things Rajaraja did. It's very convenient for the history books written in Delhi to say that India never went out and colonized any country. Rajaraja and the Cholas did that. They went out and they conquered lands. We are doing it in a different fashion today. We go out and then we send our IT skills, we send various skills. And today, even the presidential election candidates in the United States, such as they are, even they have to pay some kind of attention to the Indian diaspora that is living in the United States. Rajaraja, I think, began that great tradition. And our wonderful language, the language that we celebrate as Tamil, with its vowels and its consonants. We believe that the vowels are Shiva and the consonants are Devi. The Lalita Sahasranamam begins with Kakara Rupa Kalyani, Ka being the first letter that is used in the Lalita Sahasranamam describing the goddess. And very, very appropriately, today we have Ka as the symbol of our award of the TIE award that is going to be the standardized symbol. But before that, just a small story about Tamil before I get on to the award symbol per se. Tamil is the oldest non-European language ever to be printed in the whole world. And that printing did not happen in the 18th century or the 19th century. It happened in 1556 when Henry Hendricks, a priest, printed Tambiran Vanakkam for the first time in Tamil and released it in Goa, of all places. And then came the printing of Tamil in Tamil Nadu, which is a fascinating story, but done in that building in Tarangampadi, Tranquebar as it was known to the Danes and the British. And the man who did it was a German priest called Bartholomew Ziegenbalg. Ziegenbalg came to Tamil Nadu in 1707 and having come here, learned Tamil the traditional way by writing it on the sand of the beach in Tarangampadi with a Tamil teacher to teach him. And then decided that the best way to propagate Christianity would be to print Tamil and spread the gospel. So he wanted a printing press. So he petitioned the Danes who were in Denmark saying that you must send me a printing press. The Danes in turn passed on the request to the British. அந்த காலத்திலே இந்த request-ஐ வந்து higher authority காமிச்சுட்டேன் அவங்க பார்த்துப்பாங்க அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து ஒரு common tradition. We haven't changed much. But this file was then passed on to the British where it stayed for some time. Then 8 years later, the printing press was shipped out in a ship from England. It came all the way up to Brazil in a long and leisurely journey of 1 year. Having come there, the French seized the ship and ransomed it. So it took 6 months for the ship to be ransomed, and then the British paid the ransom, and the printing press arrived in Tarangampadi, only to find out that 2 days prior to its landing, the technician who came with the printing press fell out on the ship and was drowned and dead. So nobody knew how to operate this particular printing press. Then they decided that the best way to kind of operate it would be to somebody to learn it. So just the way we do with things that we import, and we find that the manual is written in Chinese, so we have no idea what it is all about. So the same thing they also did. They kind of broke open the thing and then they assembled the printing press. And Gottlieb Alder, who was also a German living over there, he decided that he would become the printer. But they needed printing types, letterpress. Ka eppadi irukano, ma eppadi irukano, ga eppadi irukano, that kind of thing. So what they did was they sent back to, again the time, 1 more year has gone by. So the request went back to Denmark and Germany and England, send us types. This is how the Tamil letters look. Now there they had no idea about the size. They didn't know how big was ka or how big was ma. So they sent some types. These people operated the printing press and found that every letter occupied 1 page. And they didn't, so 1 more year had gone by in the process. Finally, they had cheese sent to them in tins, lead tins. You can imagine the amount of lead poisoning they must have had when cheese was being packed in lead tins and sent over to India. They decided there's no point in going back and asking all these people to send us anything. Let us make our own types. So they cut the lead tins, made their own type, and then hand printed it. And that is how in 1716 or so, Tamil got into mass production. And since then, Tamil has remained in print. That is the first book printed by Ziegenbalg. That is the building where Ziegenbalg did his printing. We now come to the unveiling of the award for the evening. Can we have the next one, please? Can we have? And before that, we have a welcoming bit of percussion for the award. We've got the Dindigal Tappu coming on stage. And what better than percussion? Something that is so dear to our hearts. Shiva himself holding the Udukai and establishing percussion as Nataraja. And now we have the Dindigal Tappu on stage. And I also, once the performance is over, I request the best known archaeologist of India and probably one of the best known archaeologists of the world, Mr. Nagaswamy, to please come on stage and unveil our award for the evening. Can we have the Dindigal team coming on stage, please? One. Will bring him on the stage. Like many Indians, Natarajas also travel abroad. And when they travel abroad, they travel without a passport or a visa. And getting the Natarajas back is always a tough task. The only person who can identify each and every Nataraja by name, by horoscope, by birth is Mr. Nagaswamy. It's a privilege to have him here today for unveiling the award for TIE. Would you like to say a few words, sir?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a pleasant surprise for me to have been invited to come here and participate in this very pleasant function, extremely important function showing number one, represented by the word Ka, letter Ka. And after listening to Mr. Sri Ram's excellent exposition of Tamil culture, and also the lovely dance of our youngster here, I don't know what I am going to say about, except to say, friends, that one of the oldest civilization in the world we have in India, in the north western part, which we call Harappan culture or Indus Valley culture. And there we have representation of many symbols. And to represent number one, they simply drew one small line. One small line represented number one. And if they wanted to have two, they'll have just two lines. And then, if you want three, they had three lines. So they added 1, 2, 3, and 1 was the basic unit, which represented number 1. Now, friends, later on, we have those symbols, we have those representation of various forms, but we don't know what is the language. What is its content? Except this number we can understand.